All right, well, thank you for coming today.
Gracias por estar todos aquí.
We are going to present this in English and in Spanish at the same time, so we'll speak in blocks, and if I get to going too fast, because sometimes I talk too fast, slow me down or bump me over, Judge, if you would, and we'll do this. But anyway, thank you for coming today to the press conference.
Gracias por estar aquí en esta conferencia de prensa.
Joining me is City Manager Peter Zanoni, County Judge Barbara Canales, Annette Rodriguez, Director of the Corpus Christi Nueces County Public Health District, and Dr. Ram.
Conmigo se encuentran el administrador de la ciudad, Peter Zanoni, la juez Bárbara Canales, la directora del Departamento de Salud, Annette Rodríguez, y el doctor.
And Dr. Sam is the Director with the Infectious Disease Specialist for the Corpus Christi Nueces County Public Health District.
Y se encuentra el doctor con nosotros de infección, con la división de infecciones del condado de Nueces.
We thank you for being here on a short notice, and we want to give you a current status of the public health emergency caused by the COVID-19 or the coronavirus.
Gracias por estar con nosotros y les vamos a dar un resumen de la información más actualizada sobre el virus el coronavirus COVID-19.
To date, statewide, there have been 5,150 tests administered across the state of Texas, and those are by commercial laboratories. There have been 1,372 tests by the health districts throughout the state. And in Nueces County, we've had 51 cases done by the Nueces County Health District, and 22 have been done commercially. So we've been testing and have been for a while. Today, we want to give you a briefing on the first confirmed case of the coronavirus in Nueces County.
Actualmente tenemos ya un caso confirmado de una persona infectada con el virus del coronavirus.
The Corpus Christi Nueces County Public Health District reports that it received confirmation
El Departamento de Salud ya recibió confirmación
from the Center for Disease Control of the first case of the COVID-19 in Nueces County.
por parte del Centro de Control de Enfermedades del primer caso del COVID-19.
The patient is a male between the ages of 45 and 55, is in good condition.
La persona tiene una edad entre 45 y 50 años y se encuentra en buena condición.
And according to health officials, the patient is quarantined and is being closely monitored.
Esta persona se encuentra bajo cuarentena y está siendo monitoreada.
This is a travel-related case where the recent travel history is that they went to Houston, Texas.
Este incidente se trata de una persona que salió de viaje hacia la ciudad de Houston.
And the Corpus Christi Nueces County Public Health District is working with health officials and conducting contact tracing to limit further transmission.
El Departamento de Salud del Condado de Nueces se encuentra monitoreando a la persona para evitar que haya más transmisión de la enfermedad.
Yesterday, the health district locally here in Nueces County collected 15 samples from residents who met the criteria for the coronavirus.
El Departamento de Distrito de Salud del Condado de Nueces llevó a cabo 15 pruebas el día de ayer de personas que tienen el criterio para el COVID-19.
And those tests have been processed, and all 15 residents had negative test results.
Todas esas pruebas se llevaron a cabo el día de ayer y todas las personas que recibieron la prueba fueron examinadas el día de ayer. Ninguna resultó positiva a la prueba.
All right. And now I'd like to ask Judge Canales to address some comments that she would like to make, and then following her, Annette Rodriguez and Dr. Ram will talk about the medical information that might be available. Judge Canales.
Thank you, Mayor McComb.
Gracias, alcalde Macón.
We knew this day would come.
Sabíamos que este día iba a llegar.
We prepared for it.
Estamos preparados para ello
It's here.
y ya está aquí.
And everyone here,
Y todos aquí,
everybody behind me,
todos detrás de mí
and so many more that could not be with us here today,
y muchos otros que no pudieron estar aquí con nosotros
are dedicated in this unified effort,
están dedicados en este esfuerzo unido
and we will beat it
y vamos a superarlo
by working together.
mientras estemos trabajando juntos.
We are very fortunate that we had orders in place before this first case.
Estamos muy afortunados de que ya teníamos nosotros pautas para afrontar este primer caso.
And I want to reiterate what the mayor said. This is a travel case
Y quiero reiterar lo que dijo el alcalde. Este se trata de un caso de una persona que viajó,
rather than a community spread case.
contrario a un incidente adentro de la comunidad.
And all the orders that you've seen us put in place
Y todas las órdenes que hemos puesto en lugar
and all the precautions that we've taken
y todas las precauciones que se han tomado
will help us do our part to flatten this curve
nos van a ayudar a poder tener todo bajo control
and keep other cases from developing
y evitar así que haya más casos
and or spreading.
y que se sigan aumentando.
I believe that tough times bring out our courage, compassion, and commitment.
Yo sé que estos tiempos difíciles nos van a dar compasión
And commitment.
y compasión.
Compasión. It seems that we have reiterated time and time again the practices of social distancing.
Hemos reiterado que tenemos que practicar la distancia entre unas personas a otras,
But it is more important than ever
pero es más importante que nunca
that if you want to beat it like I know we do,
que si ustedes quieren vencer como nosotros queremos vencer esta enfermedad,
we have to have you a part of this solution.
queremos que usted sea parte de la solución.
We are connected
Estamos conectados
in so many ways,
en muchas formas
and we are strong.
y somos muy fuertes.
And so there are things that I'm going to ask you to do.
Así que les voy a pedir algunas cosas que quiero que hagan.
You must stay informed.
Primero tiene que estar informado,
You must take care of yourself.
tiene que cuidarse a sí mismo,
You must learn to take care of each other.
tiene que cuidar a los demás.
The precautions that the governor has taken for all Texans
Las precauciones que el gobernador ha tomado para todos los tejanos
are critical
son críticas
to beating this virus.
para poder vencer este virus.
This enemy
Este enemigo
is an enemy that we now have studied.
es un enemigo que ahora ya tenemos estudiado.
We are now much better prepared for it.
Estamos mucho más preparados ahora.
We are utilizing better treatments,
Estamos utilizando mejores tratamientos.
and we are going to stand together and work together
Vamos a estar juntos y vamos a trabajar juntos
to defeat this enemy.
para combatir a este enemigo.
I want to encourage all Nueces County citizens,
Quiero animar a todos los residentes del condado de Nueces,
if they can,
si ellos pueden,
stay home
se queden en casa,
because it will save lives.
porque va a salvar las vidas.
If you can work from home,
Si puede trabajar desde su casa,
please do so.
por favor hágalo.
And if you can't work from home because you are an essential personnel or a first responder or a healthcare worker,
Pero si usted no puede trabajar desde su casa porque es una persona que se necesita porque es esencial,
I want to thank you
le quiero agradecer,
because your sacrifice and service
porque su sacrificio y su servicio
is for all of
es
us.
para todos nosotros.
And if you are not one of those essential
Y
workers,
si usted no es una de esas personas esenciales,
you can thank them too
también les puede agradecer.
by not being in groups of 10,
Mientras no esté en grupos
more
de
than
más de 10
10,
personas
more than 10,
o más de 10 personas,
and by following the rules that we have said over and over again.
y siguiendo todas las reglas que hemos estado repitiendo una y otra vez,
Wash your hands
lave sus manos
as often as possible.
tan seguido como sea posible.
Don't touch your hands or your face
No se toque su cara
or your glasses 100 times like me
o los anteojos como yo,
without washing your hands.
sin lavarse sus manos.
And again, if you're sick or you're feeling sick,
Una vez más, si está enfermo o se siente enfermo,
quédate en casa. Stay home. I'm reminded of something that has always struck me.
me acuerdo de algo que siempre me ha impactado.
Words that we used after Hurricane Harvey.
Las palabras que utilizamos después del huracán Harvey.
And I'd like to repeat them here today.
Y me gustaría repetirlas aquí el día de hoy.
We stood in the storm,
Nosotros estuvimos en la tormenta
And when the wind did not blow our way,
Y cuando el viento no siguió nuestra área,
we adjusted our sails.
nosotros nos ajustamos.
We understand the wind.
Nosotros entendemos el viento
We understand the water.
y entendemos el agua.
And we must once again adjust our sails.
Y una vez más tenemos que poder ajustar nuestras velas.
I urge all Nueces County citizens
Exhorto a todos los residentes del condado de Nueces
to please adhere
que por favor se adhieran
to all of the rules the governor,
a todas las reglas que el gobernador,
the mayor,
el alcalde,
the school districts,
los distritos escolares
and myself as the county judge have set forth for your safety and for your protection.
y yo misma, la juez del condado, que hemos pautado para poder tener así toda su seguridad.
And I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart
Y les quiero agradecer desde el fondo de mi corazón
for the patience that we will all need to have
por la paciencia que todos tenemos que tener
and for your cooperation
y su cooperación
and for the blessings,
y por las
bendiciones,
bendiciones
that we have in this community
que tenemos en esta comunidad.
by example
Por ejemplo,
of all the healthcare, the major healthcare providers
todos los proveedores de salud
that have joined us here today
que se encuentran aquí con nosotros
in this beautiful showing
en,
of solidarity
en esta muestra de solidaridad
and love
y amor
for one another.
de uno por otro.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Okay, I'd like to call on Annette Rodriguez, who is Director of the City County Health District, for some comments. Excuse me. Yeah.
This is our first coronavirus positive case in Nueces County.
Este es nuestro primer caso en el condado de Nueces que dio positivo al virus del coronavirus.
I told the community that I would let you know when we had our first positive case, so that's what we're doing here today, is letting you know.
Yo le dije a la comunidad que le íbamos a hacer saber cuando tuviéramos el primer caso de coronavirus.
There are a lot of rumors that are being spread through social media that need to stop.
Hay muchos rumores en los medios sociales que deben de detenerse.
These rumors cause panic in the community.
Estos rumores causan pánico en la comunidad.
That is not needed today.
Eso no se necesita el día de hoy.
This individual traveled to Houston for a one-day business trip.
Esta persona viajó a la ciudad de Houston por visita de un día.
A few days after returning home, became ill.
Después de unos días de que regresó a su casa, se enfermó.
Started with a headache, a few days later, a cough, and a fever.
Comenzó con dolor de cabeza, después con tos y después fiebre.
He contacted a local physician and was tested and immediately placed in a 14-day quarantine.
Contactó con una persona, un médico de salud, y inmediatamente se puso bajo cuarentena.
We will be reaching out to individuals in this community.
Vamos nosotros a tratar de informar a todos los individuos en nuestra comunidad.
These are individuals that may have come in contact with this positive coronavirus case.
Estos son individuos que posiblemente hayan estado en contacto con esta persona que tiene el coronavirus.
The health district will be conducting contact tracing of these individuals to make sure they do not become ill.
El Departamento de Salud va a estar monitoreando a todas las personas que estuvieron en contacto con él para saber y poder ver que no están enfermos.
Students that are at home need to stay at home.
Los estudiantes que se encuentran en su casa deben de permanecer en su casa.
These individuals may not become as sick as other individuals that are more vulnerable,
Estos individuos posiblemente no se enfermen tanto como otras que son más vulnerables,
but these individuals could be vectors for spreading the disease.
pero esos individuos pueden transportar o pueden tener el virus con ellos y pueden diseminarlo.
Our public health message is
Nuestro
stay
mensaje
home,
público de salud es quédese en su casa
stay home and save lives.
y salve vidas.
Thank you.
Gracias.
And Dr. Ram?
Yes. So this particular individual is otherwise a healthy male.
Esta persona es una persona buena, que se encuentra bien de salud.
His blood pressure is well controlled on medications.
Su control de salud se encuentra bien controlada, su nivel de salud se encuentra bien controlada bajo medicamentos.
And his symptoms are general symptoms of as expected of COVID-19.
Y sus síntomas son síntomas normales que se esperaban por el COVID-19.
Cough, headaches, body aches, fevers, and chills.
Dolores de cabeza, fiebre, tos y dolor en el cuerpo.
And they are currently well controlled on pain medications and fever medications.
Pero se encuentra todo bajo control con medicamentos para poder controlar la fiebre
And he's expected to recover.
y se espera que se recupere.
And his physician did absolutely a fantastic thing of self-quarantining him right away
Se pudo poner esa persona bajo cuarentena de manera inmediata,
as soon as he showed the symptoms.
una vez que empezó a mostrar los síntomas.
And his family
Su familia
is also segregating,
también se encuentra
hopefully, from the patient.
separada de la persona.
And it is well-known fact that the COVID-19 patients can spread the infection to their family and close contacts.
Y se sabe que es un hecho que una persona que se encuentra enferma puede pasar la enfermedad a un familiar.
That is why it is very important to protect their own family members
Por eso es muy importante que se proteja a todos los familiares de una persona enferma
by coming up with ways to quarantine or separating them to like a room with their own bathroom if possible.
mientras se tenga esa persona aislada, ya sea en otra recámara o en algún baño.
And that is, again, I agree with the judge, it's more than important ever than before that social distancing is the key.
Por eso es muy importante, como dijo la juez, que la distancia entre personas es la clave.
And we are in a unique situation. Our Nueces County
Estamos en una situación única en el condado de Nueces,
has just this one case so far,
que solamente se cuenta con un caso hasta este momento
and we want to keep it that way.
y queremos que continúe así.
And we can get positive epidemiological experiences from other countries who are controlling it,
Y teniendo una persona positiva, hemos aprendido de otros países
like Singapore, Japan, Taiwan,
como Singapur, Japón, Taiwán,
where they've enforced strict social isolation,
donde han enforzado estrictamente el aislamiento social.
and the curve that they're talking about, the number of cases in the first few days is coming down rapidly or flattening the curve as we speak.
Y esos países han podido disminuir los números de casos por sus restricciones.
So I cannot stress the importance of social distancing and stay home if you can. And
Por eso es
non-essential.
importante estar separados socialmente.
That's it.
Again, I think, let me introduce, I don't know that I did at the beginning, these folks behind me here are medical professionals from HCA hospitals, Dr. Blow down here from Christus Spun, and also from Driscoll Children's Hospital. And they're doing a wonderful job in working and coordinating with us. Todd Hunter, our state representative, is here with us, and he's been with us at each meeting that we have. We're staying close with our local delegation to make sure that we stay in communication with the governor's office. A couple of things that Annette mentioned something about different rumors. There's a rumor going around, but it is absolutely not true. We are not fixing to levy the shelter in place. You use your common sense about when you need to go somewhere to take care of your business, but it's not a shelter in place that's coming. We also would encourage everyone, and as I've driven around going from my house to here and a couple other places, I've seen many restaurants already in action. They've got their to-go operations up and running, and we would certainly encourage the local community to support and buy local. Those folks, the best we can do is keep them in business, and the people that work for them, just continue to, as best you can, do your daily routine, but again, practice the separation of distance as well as the hygiene. And the judge mentioned Hurricane Harvey, and I've still got a bumper sticker on my car that we're Texas strong. We're going to win this thing, and we're going to come out stronger and better for it. And I think we're leading many of the communities in what we've done. We're going to continue to be aggressive. Safety of our citizens and the health of our citizens is our number one issue. And we appreciate the press help getting us this information out to the public. Oh, I'm going too fast. I'm sorry. But don't try to repeat all that.
No, but I can make it. I can shorten
Okay.
it. Todas las personas que se encuentran detrás del alcalde son médicos de salud de diferentes hospitales, algunos de ellos son de Risco. También se encuentra en el público Todd Hunter, el representante estatal, quien ha estado siguiendo muy de cerca todas las directivas de parte de la oficina del gobernador. Y también quiere hablar sobre un rumor que se encuentra en las redes sociales de que se planea tener a la gente adentro de sus hogares y tener alguna orden. Hasta el momento esa es solamente un rumor y no se plantea la posibilidad de que se dé la orden de que los residentes de Corpus Christi tengan que quedarse en sus hogares.
All right. Well, at this time,
En este momento,
if the press has any questions, when you do, if you direct it to who you'd like to ask the question to, and then whoever that is, we've been reminded, I think at their last press conference, that when a question is asked, the audience couldn't hear it. So if a question is directed to any person, if you would repeat the question so that those that are watching by television could hear what the question is. We learn every time we have one of these things. So we want to try to make as much information as possible. So if you have a question, if you'd identify, we'll take a couple of them, or you might be able to do better by having just an individual interview. But for the public, there's probably a couple of questions you might like to ask. Any questions in particular at this point? Yes, sir.
Yes, Member McCollum, I just want to clarify, you said this was in Nueces County. Is this a Corpus Christi resident? Are you able to share that, or?
Yes, it's Corpus Christi resident.
How long ago did this person travel to Houston?
Approximately 6 days before they became symptomatic. The question was, how many days ago did they travel?
So 6 days ago they traveled to
That's
Houston.
correct.
All right. Well, we thank you. We're Texas strong. We're going to win it. You've got a championship team behind you that's leading the efforts, and we're communicating. We want to be as transparent as possible because we've got to get past this and get people back to work. So thank you for coming, and we will continue to keep you updated on a regular basis. And if anything comes up unusual, we will certainly let you know that too. So thank you very much.
Thank you.